So if you're at work and you get cold, a lot of people this time of year are using space heaters to warm themselves up, but a lot of space heaters are quite loud. If you're anything like me, you don't really care, but if you're nothing like me, then this video might be just the video for you because I've got this Vornado. The reason why I chose this one, this small space heater, is because it was rated very high on Consumer Reports for not only efficiency, heat, but also quietness. Now, this is the $80 model. There is a $200 models, which is rated higher, but it doesn't really, I don't find that it's really worth the added $120 from what you actually get with this one. So we'll actually, in this video, we'll find out with our decibel meter how loud it actually is, and you'll be able to hear if it's something that you would actually want to have in your office. And sometimes it's just a cubicle. You can actually put this underneath your desk, and it's actually safe for fire because it has a trip sensor, so it turns off if you mistakenly stumble it over. Now we have a comparison heater, just a completely different type of heater. These are infrared heaters. This is a heater that I've had for a few years, probably 5-6 years now. I have it in my son's room because his room is on top of the garage, and it just, the heat doesn't really get all the way to his room because the coldness of the garage in the winter, it keeps his room a little bit colder. So I have this in his room, and it works pretty well, and it actually is good as a white noise machine because it makes a little bit of a humming noise. This one will do the same, and we'll find out which type of heater is actually quieter. Now, a lot of people gravitate towards these heaters because they say that they push out more heat, but we will see how it goes. Now, the rating that Consumer Report gave this heater, the spot heating, is 4 out of 5. So basically that's pretty good because if you just want to heat just a small area, let's say you have it underneath your desk, it works pretty well. But I mean, let's face it, if you have either one of these or a lot of space heaters underneath your desk, it should heat up fairly good. The issue is, however, how much noise they make, because if they are quite noisy, then it can be quite annoying. And of course, if they get older, they also get very noisy. So you might want to look for a replacement, and this one right here might be it. I'll have links in the description below of this exact one and something similar to this one. Another rating here, fire safety, 5 out of 5 because it has a trip indicator. Also noise rating, 5 out of 5, and that's the reason why I chose this one, because of the impeccable noise rating. And we will hear exactly how much noise is actually coming out of this heater. I'm telling you, it's going to be something miraculous. At least by the end of this video, you'll know if this is the heater that you should buy for your work, for your bedroom, because like I said, if they make out a little bit of a humming noise, it might actually help you sleep. One big difference between this heater and this heater is quite heavy. This heater is very light, probably half the weight of that one. Now that one doesn't really trip easily, it's just a square block. Now this one might, but this is a nice looking heater actually. It's something that you could easily fit underneath a desk. A lot easier than this one. Now, as I said, there are many different types of Vornado heaters, and this one's $80. They range from $50 all the way up to $200. The one that's $200 looks like this one is a little bit different, a little bit fancier. But as I said, for $80, I believe this is a pretty good buy. And also on Consumer Reports, they said that the lows, this model had no discernible flaws in its performance. Alright, so now let's try them out. We'll be able to see how much heat comes out of these two types, if this would be good to heat just a small cubicle, or if it might just be overkill. But one thing to note, there is a low setting and a high setting, and the fan has a dial here. So you can turn the fan very low, which would probably make it very quiet. So this might be actually a good thing to have underneath your desk. Now, the difference between this one and that one, this type has no settings for a temperature. This one actually has a temperature setting, so you don't really set it to, you set it to low and high for the fan, but also its temperature setting. So when it hits, let's say 20 degrees Celsius, it shuts off. Now this one, it will not shut off if it hits a certain temperature. All right, so first we'll try out the infrared space heater, because a lot of people like these types of heaters. They look good, they cost a little bit more. I think this one was around $120, but they range between $100 and $200 depending on what style you want, what color of wood, if you want real wood or fake wood. It all depends. But there's an on button at the back, and all you do is you turn it on. Now right now she's at 86 Fahrenheit, so we would, if you want to change to Celsius, it's at 30 degrees. So usually I just have it at 20 degrees. And as you can hear, it doesn't make that much noise. It's just a small hum of the fan. Probably not the best idea to have that right there. So you have to be careful with these types of heaters, especially to not put anything on top of them. Like that microphone, don't try that at home. So right now it's at the low setting. Barely 58 decibels. It's not making that much noise. Alright, so at the high setting, .60 decibels, about 2 decibels more than, or maybe 1 decibel more than the low setting. And there is a good amount of heat coming out. It is heating up pretty good. This type of heater works fairly well. So now once you turn these types of heater off, they typically just keep going. The fan keeps going until everything in that heater is cooled down. But because of the time constraints of this video, now let's try the Vornado, see how this performed. Never tried it, very excited. Now we'll turn it on and let's see. Oh. That would be awkward if I got a dud. Oh, she turned on. She probably needs a little bit of time to heat up. Now, yeah, this one is definitely quieter. 57 decibels. I have it on the low setting for the fan. Now I'll just bring it up to medium. Now I just brought it up to medium, and 60 decibels, 59, really. Now I have it cranked up to the max, and as you heard, it just shut off as I lifted up a little bit. So there is that safety that is very important, especially if this is going to be in a bedroom. Well, really, if it's going to be in an office cubicle underneath your desk, it is going to be easy to trip over. So you want to make sure that you have something that has that safety, because paying $60 for something that doesn't have it versus $80 for something that does have it, especially in an office setting, registering between 61 and 63 decibels. And right now she's at the highest setting. Now a heater like this, it won't heat up a whole living room as good as you might think. However, a heater like this for a home office would also be perfect, because you'll be saving money, especially if you just have baseboard heaters. It is as efficient as a baseboard heater technically, but one thing that the baseboard heater doesn't have that this have is the fan. Now, if you just turn on the baseboard heater, it has the coil just like in this heater, However, it doesn't have the fan. This will heat the room a lot faster, and it uses the same amount of wattage as your heater if you have it on at the max level, 1500 watts per hour. Now, what do you think? Do you think it's a good purchase? I think it's actually a good buy. As I said, I'll have the link in the description below. If it were my choice, I would probably just go with this, because for an office setting, this will be a lot better than this, in my opinion. However, if you want to maybe heat up a bigger room, maybe this would be a little bit better. But this seems to be pushing out a lot of heat. So this actually could be the winner in how much it heats up a room and how quiet it is. That's the reason why we're here today. You want a space heater that's quiet and that is safe and that heats the room. Vornado. Try it out. Thank you very much for watching. Links in the description below. And also, one thing that's free, that like button, click it so it turns blue. If you do that, all your dreams will come true. Probably not. But anyway, it's worth a try. Just try it out. See you in the next video.